This right here is some soul food for real. I dedicated this meal out here, especially for my homeboy jumping, getting out today, and for everybody who is able to be free, uh, you know, out the legal system, parole, probation, whatever, still, a blessing. Also, for all of our loved ones who are still, incarcerated at this point, um, sending lots of love and blessings, nourishment for the mind, body, soul, spirit, emotions, and also for the, individuals who will be, um, you know, as of right now, spending their rest of their time, locked up, the people who've died in prison, regardless of the situation or whatever, still sending out, this nourishment, love, light, life force energy to their families, to their, people who they impacted. Um, Specifically, because we never know the whole story you know, um, until we do. And there's always different sides to every story, different perspectives, different reasons or perceived reasons. But I dedicate this to all of you. And everything's energy, So just because you're physically not eating this, don't mean that you're not gonna benefit from it. It's definitely was cooked with love, and it's funny because I have been a cultivator of being able to just come up with random, put together things, ideas, especially for meals. Everybody's gonna get fed. So I had like a few shrimp, a few of the fish sticks, a few real potatoes, a bag of instant mashed potatoes, stuffing, real garlic, real butter, real seasoning salt, a can of black eyed peas, a little bit left of summer sausage in the package. So, definitely put it together. And my grandma, she passed on. That was my lady. When I was incarcerated, I just was really fearful that she was gonna pass away. Lucky enough, for five months, I got 5 beautiful months to take care of her, and I was there when she passed. So she always buttered bread. I remember she told me a story about her mom, and when they're little, my great grandmother, would she just always open her home, to people in her heart. She's beautiful, but all they had was bread and milk, and one butter. So bread, butter, milk, and so that was like the staple, thing. And there's a boy and his mom. They had walked. Their feet were so, man, they're so bad. And they knocked on the door, because back then my grandma was 93 when she died, and she died February 24th, 2020. So anyhow, so I can only imagine. I don't even know what year this was. Probably, when this happened. My grandma was little, so um but this lady and her son, they had been walking. They're trying to travel somewhere. They stopped at my grandma's family's farm, and my great grandma opened the door, and I have an uncle. His name was George. He passed on too, but he was kind of worried, like, oh, we're gonna let these strangers in the house. But my grandma, said, "Shush, we're gonna let this." Well, my great grandma, I should say. I'm sorry. We're gonna let these people in. My grandma, gave them what they had, bread and milk, and my great grandma, I guess, sat down and soaked this woman's feet, right, and changed her bandages in her on her feet because they had been walking. And my grandma, and she had so many kids, boys and girls, but at that time, I believe it was just three little girls, and I think maybe two boys who was there, and then my great grandma and my granddad, great granddad, I guess. And so they were poor. They grew up in the Depression. So but it was like, that's just money. I feel like there was the richest people. They put that's how I know how to put something, turn nothing into something real quick and appreciate it. And so that's kind of like a symbol of, sorry, getting all teared up. This meal symbolizes that love, that anybody who needs their wounds, cleansed. Because you've been walking. I know I walked the desert years and years and years, wandering, and I might don't have, two pennies to rub together right now in my pocket, but I'm the richest person alive to be able to do this and share this with you. And this is me. This is my pure essence. This is always it. I will always share what I can, and energetically, physically, thoughtfully, with kindness and compassion, and because I know I done had $1 million too now, but I've had nothing, and I needed my feet washed and cleansed and motivated to get back on the journey. And it doesn't always come in the same form. Like, I've been denied for Social Security disability for the past 2 years. I had 7 surgeries. I had 3 people in my life. The 3 people who I really, one person was my cousin. My first, February 5th, she passed on. And, we had a disagreement about money, and I had just, I threw my hands up. I was like, I don't care if you're my cousin, I'm going to stop talking to you. Well, my dad, that's my dad's niece. And so, my dad's side of the family, I'm kind of estranged from them, not necessarily by choice, but, just they're in different states and everything. But, I was longing, because my dad was gone at an early age. He went to prison when I was 2, and we never had a relationship beyond that. And, so, I grew up, and I just longed for that side of the family, my Puerto Rican side. And, it was super significant to me that, I could have this relationship. And I used to take care of her kids and everything, and, so my second cousins. So, when I got the news that she was in the hospital, they said she had a seizure, she's at Region. So I, of course, I went there. I lifted there like, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and, give, her son was over 18, her oldest son. She had 4 kids. And, so I thought, oh, I'll just leave him some money, to get him something to eat, kiss my cousin, whatever, but I did not know that she, did not have oxygen to her brain for a certain amount of time, that basically she was just, on life support. She was brain dead. And they just, right before then she changed from not being a organ donor to deciding that she wanted to donate organs. So that was why they kept her there for like 10 days. And I stayed the whole 10 days. I didn't change. I probably looked rough. Region staff was on top of me because I was on top of them for, making sure that they treated her, with respect. I don't care, what she's on. I don't care anybody. I that's one thing I do know. I stay on their ass. But I did not want her to be alone. And I didn't care who was there, So that was significant to me. But then, I took away from my grandma, I was staying with her. I was taking care of her. I took away that time, to sit with my cousin. And, so during that period of time, my grandma accepted that and she honored that. I went back with her and I left her. And she had a freak accident. She had this reclining chair and she must have tried to get up or whatever, and it had a remote, and so she must have bumped her arm, hit the remote, and it ejected her from the chair. So when the paramedics called me from her house phone, at 6 in the morning. I thought, it was, I'll never forget it. Everybody's supposed to come over that Sunday. I thought she was calling me to tell me to cancel everybody, because that's usually what she did when she didn't want to be, she already was ready. She was checked out a long time ago. But, so I said, Grandma, you're not canceling people. It's 6 in the morning. No, I'm not calling them. And it was the paramedics saying she had this accident. And finally she was able to press her life alert and everything. And, so she's at United. I raced to United. I'm talking about, I got there before the ambulance got there. And, on feet. And, so then what happened is she ended up breaking a hip. My grandma, she was spirited. She was so, it was so amazing, because you wouldn't even been able to tell she had a broken hip. That was on the 24th of February. So just, a few weeks after that, and so during that time, her heart was old. And so they were not able to do surgery. So all of a sudden she developed blood clots on her heart. And then one on her brain. She had a stroke, and then they did emergency surgery, and she was not able to talk. I mean, her voice was jumbled. It was really sad. So I said, God, you know what? Heal her. Take her. But whatever you do, this is, I stayed with her as well. I stayed with her all through the night, and it was really difficult to see somebody you really care about go through that, pain. And she had a experience where she saw God and shared with us everything. And she was really upset. She was upset that she was still here. So I thought, geez, I need to stop being selfish. Whatever happens, just do it fast. And she passed naturally in my arms, and everybody was there who needed to be there. And so I kind of spiraled out of control. I mean, I've been out of control, for all my life, but I really spiraled out of control. But then August of that same year, my best friend who, because I spiraled out of control, we got into a little spat or whatever in April. And then in August, he ended up, we blocked each other on social media and everything, being petty. And but then he got killed. It was like a freak thing too, like where he was just, he was not even that type of person, got shot dead. And I really spiraled out of control at that point, and I already had all these health things going on with me at the same time. I had just been locked up for 2 years, fighting 2 serious cases. And I never was able to address my own personal issues, and then all these things happened, and I lost everything on a physical note, but man, I'm telling you, it's divine timing. It's purposeful. I can't even tell you, man, I'm so in love with myself, in love with life, in love with everyone. I see God in everyone. I see power, and I see and feel, and just love every aspect of everyone. And I know now how special we all are. And I know how things seem on the outside, because I done seen people who seemingly are just everything's so perfect. They have everything, and no legal record or anything like that. And they're totally the opposite, and dealing with stuff that, is really hard, and I made choices that are not necessarily right for everybody, or they would say, how could you ever do this or do that or whatever, and I stand by them, because everything is a lesson, and it's a beautiful lesson, and when you can learn to release yourself from this mental prison, because I'm telling you, I've been incarcerated and for things I did, things I did not do, and things that should not have been, happened or whatever, things that other people got away with, or whatever the case is. And I have no hard feelings. I never felt so included and so loved and so wonderful and all these things, in my own house, in my own family, with my own parents, felt total opposite, so it's like, It don't matter what something looks like on the outside, but once you figure it out on the inside, and you understand, it don't matter wherever, they can hold your body captive, but they can't hold your mind. And once you learn how to use your mind in the most powerful way, the most effective way, you will feel the unconditional love and light and life force energy that just is flowing through you, with you, and in you. And it's just this freaky, crazy, beautiful love affair, with God and Mother Earth, and we are the products of that. And once we realize it and come to terms with it, it's a beautiful thing. And we all brothers and sisters, and co-creators together. So, I want to thank everybody. I want to send this meal out to everybody. I want to nourish everybody with love and light and inspiration and wholeness, and just, it'll be all right, man. I promise you, everything will come together like two ass cheeks on a summer day. And just hold your head up.